Good morning. Good morning, good morning. Hello. Type in where you're calling from. Type it in. Let's see where you guys are calling from. We come now to reveal it. I've been waiting for a long time now to do it. And nothing hold me down. I can do it. Let's see where you guys are calling from. Hey, if I want it, I can have it. I believe it. Hello, Arizona. Houston. I love Texas, you guys. Ay, Puerto Rico. I love Puerto Rico. Ah, thank you. Inglewood. Calling from Lockford at my nutritional club. Oh, awesome. Houston. I see Texas in the house. I love Texas. I want to move to Texas. Can I just tell you that? All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get started here. Hi, Barbara. She's a diva. Yeah, she's a diva full of drama. Don't believe her. All right, guys. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Monday. Happy May 17th. We are 5 months into the year of 2021. And before we get started, I'm just let you know, my little 3-year-old is hopping in here. So anyhow, this is how it goes, right? If you guys are moms. So type in on the chat, how are you guys doing with, oh, and now the dog is in here. My husband is, it's a family affair. Hello, Sebastian. Do you want to say hi? Yeah, you want to say hi? Come here, come here. Look at my little Buzz Lightyear. Say hi. Sebastian, look. Hi. All right, guys. So, hang on a second really quick. All right, guys. So, here we are, May 2021, right? 5 months into the year. And I don't know about you guys, but this morning I was having a workout. I don't know if you've ever felt this, if you've ever like got emotional during your workout, but it was one of those workouts today, right? And as I was running and I was like working out, I started to reflect about, you know, not only this year, but really about my life and like, how did I get to be where I am today, right? And I just felt, and then I felt compelled to share because I then I was doing a personal development this morning while I was getting ready. And as I was doing that, so one of the things I do every morning, you guys, I put my AirPod in my ear. And as I'm getting ready, I'm listening to some personal development. And the message today was put yourself where you see yourself being, or put yourself where you want to be. And I was like, oh my gosh, that is such in alignment with what I was thinking this morning. So I just felt so compelled to get on here and hope that this may serve some of you, okay? So let me tell you a little bit about myself and tell you why I am, how this is relevant to my success, okay? So just really brief. So, you know, I went to school. I graduated. One of these days, I'm going to do a live on my story that I know very few people really know. And the other day I was like thinking, how come I've never shared some really hard times, like me living with rats when I was in college, living off macaroni and cheese. That day I might not wear makeup because it's probably going to be an emotional, teary-eyed life. But anyhow, so, you know, I graduated from college. And I got a job, right? I got a job at corporate America. And I put myself in an environment that I thought I wanted to be in, right? I thought I wanted to have this corporate America job. This guy, you know, I was working in downtown LA in the Wells Fargo building. And I had like, you know, a cubicle. And I was like, I thought this is what I wanted. I wanted to work for corporate America. But as I was looking around and I was starting to notice how they were living, I didn't feel that that was the kind of life I wanted to live. Even though I was only 23 years old, I was like, I don't think this is where I want to be. I ended up quitting, okay? And I ended up launching my own business with $6 to my name. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. $6 to my name. I launched my business. And what ended up happening was This is not typical, okay? But it's possible with a lot of work and dedication. I'm going to tell you how I got there, okay? But exactly 1 year later, I was making over $5,493.28. The other day, I found my copy of my checks. So they're in a drawer over there, okay? One of these days, I'm going to put them on a presentation. I was like, oh my God, here it is, right? 3 months later, it jumped to $7,080.60. This is not typical, but because I did so much hard work and I put myself in places that were aligned with where I saw myself going. And that's what I want to talk to you about today, okay? Then fast forward, I ended up getting stuck, okay? Getting stuck for 5 years. I did almost nothing, meaning like I hardly worked. I was hardly, moving forward. I was stagnant. And why? Because I put myself in places where I was conformed. Then I got myself moving again, okay? And then I got to the top 1%. So as I was thinking about this, I'm like, oh my God, as I was listening to my personal development this morning, I'm like, this has been, besides hard work and consistency and strategy and all that other stuff, I think this has been one of the key components of my success. And I want to share that with you, okay? So if you're ready, type on the chat, I am ready. If you're ready, type it on the chat. I want to see, I am ready. So here's what I want to share with you, okay? We are a product of our environment. Like, really let that sink in. We are a product of our environment, okay? Who we are surrounded ourselves, okay, awesome. Who we surround ourselves with has a great impact in what we think, see, and feel that is possible for us. Okay, so I'm speaking really slow because I really want you to get this, okay? Who you surround yourself with has a huge impact in what you think, how you see, and what you feel is possible for you. Okay? So if you are around an environment that is conformed, an environment that settles, and an environment that is not striving for more, that is, okay, there we go, sorry. So I have alarms for everything. So that is going to be your reality, okay? If you're around people that don't think about making better moves, don't see their life better, and don't feel that it's possible, they will influence you, okay? So there has been a study, okay, pay attention. This is really deep. For those of you guys who have a business and you have a team, listen to what I'm about to tell you. There was a study done, okay, because I don't know if you guys know, but I also teach women entrepreneurs at USC, and so that has me doing a lot of research, right? Like once a month, like for a week, I like embed myself in the topic. And when I was studying the topic of organizational behavior about 2 years ago, I came across, I can't find this research, but I came across a research that was talking about, I just realized where it is. Okay, anyway, that was talking about the impact of groups, okay? And here's what they did, okay? They did a research where they had a group of people, okay, that were like top achievers, okay? So they're a group of people that were top achievers. Let's just say there was 5 of them, okay? And all of these 5 were A types. They were moving, they were shaking, they were making things happen, okay? And so then all of a sudden they had this one employee, okay, it was like a, anyway, one employee that really wasn't doing much, that he was a slacker, or she, whatever it was, okay? He or she was a slacker, and they were just like lazy, they were not motivated and all this stuff, right? So the manager got this brilliant idea and said, you know what? I'm gonna put this person in this A group, because these 5 people, by this person being over here, these 5 people are gonna pull him or she up, and they're gonna elevate her or him, right, to be more, and it's gonna get this person to move, to work, blah, 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 okay? Guess what ended up happening? I think it's in my other computer, because I got a new computer during COVID, so I'm pretty sure it's in my other laptop, so I'm gonna find it, and if I can, I'm gonna post it, okay? It was such a powerful study. And what ended up happening was this person, okay, that got into this group of A, what do you guys think happened? Type it in on the chat. Do you think the group elevated this person, or do you think this person brought this group down? Let me see it on the chat. I want to see what you guys think. Let's see. I know there's a delay in the thing. Let's see. Let's see. What do you guys think happened? Okay, let's think. Let's see. I want to see what you guys think happened, huh? Broke. Okay. The 5 brought him up. Okay, awesome. What else? Brought it down. Okay. A. Okay. Elevated this X person. Elevated. Hi, Tatiana. Okay. I am sorry to say that no. That what ended up happening, that's what you all would think, right? 5 people would elevate this person up. But no, what ended up happening is, todo depende del equipo, un poco de levadura de toda la masa. Yes. So what ended up happening was this person eventually brought the morale of this group down. What ended up happening was because all these guys, they were A doers. They were moving, they were shaking. Their standards were high, so they were elevating each other. The moment this person, let's just call this person Bob, okay? The moment Bob got into this group, hi Vanessa, got into this group, this person's morale, they were not finishing their job. These people had to pull his weight. They had to finish his work and all this stuff. So then what happened was these 5 people got frustrated and they were like, what the heck? How come this person is, because they're all getting paid whatever the same. How come that's messed up? Yeah, right? So this person brought this group eventually started performing less. They started to be less motivated. I gotta find this research. I think it was a Stanford research, but they found that these people were less motivated. They were not as driven. They were like, their morale went down, okay? Their productivity went down, all because this person came over here. And I was surprised, just like you guys. I was thinking like, whoa, like, are you serious? You mean to tell me one person can have that much effect on 5 type A, 5 driven people, go-getters, and all that stuff? But then if you think about it, okay, I don't know if you've ever been in this situation where you've been in a group or a job, and then you see one of the employees gets there late, no one says anything, leaves early, no one says anything, and gets the same amount of pay, and you're like thinking, man, what the heck? Like, you know, and nobody says anything. You get frustrated. So why am I sharing this with you? And the easiest way to look at it is like a rotten apple. You can have 5 good apples. You put 1 rotten apple in the same basket. This rotten apple will eventually contaminate these 5 good apples. That is like the most easiest way to understand it. But I think all of us think, well, if these 5 people were driven and making it happen, you would think they would elevate this person up. But it wasn't. That wasn't the case. Okay? And so if you think about your real life, that happens all the time. It happens all the time. That you could be the person that's driven, that you could be the person that wants more out of life, that you could be the person that wants to be your own boss, that you could be the person that wants to better your health, that you could be the person of all of that. But if you're in an environment, okay, that's even like harder, where the 5 are like, not, I won't say offensive things, right? They're not driven, they're not go-getters, whatever, and you put yourself in that environment, for sure, you are not going to survive. For sure, your dreams are not going to survive. Your ambitions are not going to survive. So I am going to encourage you to start thinking about what is it that you want out of your life, your body, your spirituality, your relationships, your money, your career, and to start putting yourself in environments that will support that. And okay, put yourself in an environment where you are not like the worst in like, okay, just hear me out, okay? Where you're like the lowest of the group, okay? Meaning that you're the one that makes the least, you're the one that knows the least. so that you can be around people that know more, have more, earn more, so that you can inspire to have more. The other thing that I heard this morning from the personal development audio that I was listening to, I'm like, oh my gosh, yes. And that is, how many times do we feel so self-conscious about doing something different? I know this doesn't affect me a lot, but it does. So still to this day, okay? Not as much as it used to, but like how many times do we feel self-conscious of doing something that's different, right? And for the most part, most people, they want to fit in. They want to not rock the boat. If you're somewhere, you want to kind of be the same, almost like everybody else, right? Like it's comfortable. Yet the people that we admire the most are the ones that stand out. Okay? The people that we admire the most are the ones that take chances, are the ones that take risks, are the ones that dare to be different. Right? Yesterday, I was listening to this video. This whole weekend, I was on and off on this course called The Most Powerful Women of Network Marketing. And one of the girls that went on there, she was saying, she makes, I don't even know how much money. It's like ridiculous. They wouldn't even say because they're like, you probably won't believe it. But, I happen to know how much she makes. And I love listening to her because one of the reasons why I love listening to her is, number one, she has a big heart. But number two, she is so different and she's okay. Because I don't know about you guys, okay, but I was always told I was too much, I was too this, I was too that, right? And for a while, you start to believe it and you start to think, well, maybe I should tone it down. Maybe I shouldn't be so passionate. Maybe I shouldn't have those desires. But the reality is, when you're not true to who you really are, you start to die inside. At least I'll speak for myself. Right? So when I first started my business, you guys, what got me to move fast was, yes, I had a lot of work ethic. Yes, I had a plan, all of that. But also it was because I was always putting myself in environments where people had more. Okay. We had an event once a month called Success Training Seminar. Okay. And thank you, Emma. And I lived in Sacramento. I was 23 years old, okay? I was living in Sacramento, and the event was in San Jose. That's a 2-hour drive. The event started at 9 a.m., okay? Which meant we had to leave at 6 so that we can get there by 8 or so we could register, grab a seat, and be ready by 9, okay? I was only 23 years old. So I don't know about you, but I don't know how many 23-year-olds are willing to do that. I would wake up at 6 o'clock in my pajamas, not pajamas, but in sweats. I would go to sleep in sweats, wake up, I would shower the night before, wake up, have everything ready, get in the car. I would grab a couple of people that would go with me. We would drive down to San Jose, and there was a Chevron, a very clean gas station bathroom right before the Wyndham Hotel. And we would stop there, okay? And I would change in the bathroom, all right? And then I would kind of touch my makeup a little bit in the car before I got out of the car, all right? And then we were ready to go by 9 a.m. I did that every single month because I put myself in the environment of where I wanted to be, where I saw myself. Every month, it was like re-energizing myself. Every month was like putting gas in my tank. Okay, so I'm going to invite to ask you, what is it that you're doing minimum on a monthly basis to get yourself re-energized, to get yourself realigned to what it is that you want? Because if you're not putting yourself in an environment where people are showing you what's possible, you're going to be around people that, like I said, that don't think, don't see, and don't feel like there's more for life. And this will now be your reality versus you putting yourself in an environment where people are wanting more, they're going for more, they believe more, they think that there's more, they see a bigger vision, and they feel it in their heart. When you're around those types of people and those types of an environment, okay, you cannot help but if you want to hang out with them, you cannot help but to elevate your standards, raise your vibration, and as a result, it's going to impact your life. Okay? So I'm going to give you 2 examples of when this happened to me. The first one of when it happened good and when it happened bad. Okay? I'm not talking bad about anybody. I take full responsibility for my life. Okay? But what happened was when I first started my business, I was 23 years old, okay? Had $6 to my name. And things were not going as I wanted them to go. So what happened was I called one of my cousins, her name is Patty, and she was moving and shaking. Okay, and so I was working by myself in Sacramento. She was in Redwood City, 2 hours away. And I called her and I told her like, hey, like, you know, and I told her what was going on. She's like, well, come on down. I'll show you what I'm doing. And I spent the week, with her at her house, and I just shadowed her. And I went everywhere she went, and I did what she did. I listened to how she made the calls. I listened to how she prospected. I listened to how she invited them to the business. I listened to how she did the presentation. I listened to how she closed. I watched the whole thing, and I experienced it. Okay? And because of that week that I invested in putting myself where I wanted to be by putting myself with somebody that was moving and was doing what I wanted to do, okay? I came back, and for those of you guys that are in our business, you know what I mean, and I qualified 3 supervisors that month, okay? And I made an extra $2,000, okay, in that last 90 days. But I came back, I put it into practice. My first month, obviously, it's like planting the seeds. The second month, it was like starting to grow. And then the third month, boom, things started to happen. And in the last week of August of 2001, okay, that's where I saw the result. So because I put myself in that environment, I was like immersed into it, it ended up happening. Okay, and then guess what happened? I kept doing it. I kept bringing myself around people that every month I would go to a training. I actually went to 2 trainings a month. Okay, this is like part of the secret. Is number 1, I've never, ever, 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 ever have been stingy with investing in myself. Ever. There are people that rather have. Look at, there I have 2 Louis Vuittons hanging right there, okay? Right? There are people that rather have some expensive purses, but don't invest in themselves. I rather have whatever and invest in me. Because I've always understood that if I fill my mind, my mindset will fill my pocketbook. I've always understood that. And I gotta be honest with you. I love growing. I love changing. I love making myself better. Okay? Personally, like I'm the type of person, as my husband, if somebody goes, you should try this, I never say no. Never. I'm like, all right, I'll try it. There's so many people that don't even know, and before the person even finishes, you're like, no. And it's like you shut yourself out of opportunities, and you shut yourself out of possibilities. Don't be that person, okay? Say yes, find out. You don't like it, don't do it again. It's that easy. We're not in Korea, okay? So what happened was, I went to 2 trainings a month. I went to 1 in Spanish in San Jose and 1 in English the same month. Every single month, you guys, I invested twice a month, okay? Which is nothing, right? Every single month. And because of that, 6 months later, I qualified to this position called Get Team, which is in the top 6% of the company, okay? 6 months into the business. I kept doing the deal. I kept doing that. I kept surrounding myself. I was working and I would surround myself with people that have more. I was working and I would surround myself with people that did more, that had more, that knew more. I've always been like that. Okay, since I was little, like probably drive a lot of people crazy because I ask a lot of questions. I have a question kind of girl, okay? Because if I want to know, I want to know. So what happened was 6 months after that, so a year into the business, my business hit a position called Millionaire Team. How did I do that? Okay, here you go. Number 1, I had a plan. I had a goal, right? I'll never forget. I was driving down the 50 and I was listening to Francisco Cespedes and I was listening to the Vida Loca song, and all of a sudden I got this feeling of, I'm going to qualify to Mill Team. This is it. And I would say, ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome International Millionaire Team member Karla Sandoval. And I would cry in the car and I would visualize myself like crossing that stage. Okay, as I was driving, I would say these things over and over, and the song was playing La Vida Loca by Francisco Céspedes. Listen to the words, okay? It is very powerful song. I would listen to it and I would sing out of the top of my lungs, okay? And I was living with my parents, driving their car. I had no money, I had nothing, okay? But a hard-ass work ethic and a very clear plan. Here's the other thing. When my friends, I'm not telling you to do this, okay? But when my friends were out in Miami, I wasn't putting myself in those places. I wasn't hanging out with them because to me, this is just my personal belief, okay? This is my personal belief. To me, I didn't deserve that yet because I know how my friends travel. They stay at very nice locations. They eat at really nice restaurants. They buy very expensive drinks. And I wasn't going to be that friend that was going and being like, oh, I don't have the money. So I was like, I'm not there yet. I can't afford that yet. So I would say, no, I'm working. No, I'm working. No, I'm working. But how many times, I don't know, maybe you do this. You're like, well, I deserve this. No, I was like, nope, not yet. Nope, not yet. Nope, not yet. And that's not where I wanted to be. I didn't want to be at the nightclubs. I didn't want to be out in Miami. I did, right? But I didn't want to be there yet. What I wanted to grow my business. I wanted to prosper. I wanted to elevate myself. So that's where all my energy went, okay? All my energy and my focus went there, okay? So that's the time that I put myself in places and I grew like crazy. Then, here's the times that didn't happen, okay? I'm going to tell you because you also need to know the downfall. I then, was around certain people that were not elevating themselves. I was around certain people that, so that happened, right? And then I was like, okay, whatever. And then I'm like, now time to have fun. And then in the fun, I met people that lived like, that were just conformed, okay? That lived like for example, their car, like they were hoarders. Like you couldn't sit down in their car because you couldn't see the seat, you couldn't see the floor from so much stuff this particular person would have in their car. Their house was always a mess, okay? And I'm like embarrassed to admit that I was like hanging out with these people, okay? But to be honest with you, they were fun. They were they are fun. They're amazing people. They're very loving people. And I think if I'm really honest with you, they were fulfilling something I was needing, right? Because when I was working, I wasn't having fun. I didn't have love in my life. I didn't have adventure in my life. So then I met this group of people and they were all that I was missing. So I went from one extreme to the next, okay? I have a tendency to do that a lot, okay? But anyway, so all of a sudden I'm around these people and I started putting on weight, a lot of weight. Eating pizza like all the time, drinking beer all the time, wearing sweats, not getting ready. I remember there was for a whole year, you guys, I was around these people just hanging out, super chilling, having a good time. I was the biggest fish in the pond. I was the one that made the most money. I was the one that knew them. I was the queen of that group. So guess what ended up happening, right? I didn't inspire them to do more. They brought my standards down. They brought my drive down. They brought my whatever down. Now, it's not their fault. I take full responsibility because I'm the one that put myself in that environment. Next thing you know it, I found myself one day, I remember I looked in the mirror and I was like, holy cow, I'm really fat and I look really ugly, okay? And I remember thinking how did I get here? How did this happen? Right? I'm not blaming them because they were really fun and loving and adventurous. And I had a really good time, around them. But at what cost? I completely lost myself. I lost my drive. I lost my passion. That I've never lost, okay? But I lost my drive. I lost my ambition. I lost all of that. And I remember that one day I looked in the mirror And I looked at my back. Okay, this is where the joke comes from. If you ever work out with me, you hear me say no chichis on your back. Because I looked at my back, and all my back, I saw all these boobs. Maybe not all these boobs, but I saw these boobs back there. And I remember thinking like, holy shit, what happened? Right? And then guess what happened? Like I had that moment of awakening, like line on the sand, like no mas, right? And of course, in my true fashion, okay, I need to work on this. After 43 years, I haven't mastered this, okay? But I'm a little like extremist, okay? So what happened was I literally went out and found the best personal trainer. Her name is Heather. I was living in Santa Maria at the time. I just looked at her and I was like, yeah, I want you to train me. She charged me $120 an hour. So I told her, I don't want you to be my best friend. I don't want you to ask me what I did for the weekend. I want you to train me and I want you to work me out hard. I want to transform this body in the next 3 months. And she was like, okay, I like you, right? And so here's what happened. I got a coach that was going to take me where I wanted to go. I got a coach that was going to take me where I saw myself. So I ask you, who do you have pulling you? Okay? I don't need anybody to push me. Please don't be the type of person that somebody's got to be behind you pushing you. No. Find somebody that is going to pull you towards what you want. So this lady did that. She put me on a meal plan. I told her I take my shakes. And she was like, well, I don't know about that. And I'm like, well, I don't know about your thing, but I know what I'm doing. Okay, so just tell me what other foods I need to buy. So every single morning, I would have my shake, okay? And then I would have like clean meals. I would measure my food. Like I was like obsessed. I weighed everything. I prepped everything, right? And guess what I did? I completely eliminated, completely, but like 90% eliminated that group of people that were eating pizza and having beer. Okay, I was not their favorite person, and I knew that. But guess what? By being around them, I was losing myself. So the question is, who's more important? You or their concern about you? Right? Like you got to think about that. What's more important? You, your sanity, your well-being, or your concern about them on you? And I couldn't be concerned about them anymore. They sure were not concerned about me. Like I was like, you guys, all I lived in were sweats. That's how big I was. That's how heavy I got. Okay. So I did that, and I had a coach, and I told her, just push me. I remember she would make me want to throw up, and I was like, I'm going to throw up. And I thought she was going to stop. She was like, okay, keep going. And she would bring a bucket next to me. That's the type of coach you want. Somebody who does not let you quit. Somebody who is not going to let you fall short. Okay, so I'm so grateful for her, right? I ended up losing like 20 pounds in the next 3 months, and I just completely transformed my body, right? And then guess what happened? Here I go again, right? Elevating myself, right? And then I ended up moving to Los Angeles. I ended up finding a whole new group of people that were living a bougie lifestyle, and that's a whole nother story, okay? But what ended up happening was I went back to my old ways of being around people that had more, that did more, that thought more, that saw more, that felt more, and that just caused me to elevate my game. That caused me to also want more. So you guys, here's what I'm going to invite you to do. We are in the 3rd week of the 5th month of 2021. Okay? How are you doing? Could you do better? Could you do more? Right? Could you be kinder? Could you be more love to nobody but you? Okay? Here's the thing. There is no more important relationship than the relationship with you, with yourself. Like nobody, not my husband, not my son, not Luna, my dog, not my mom. No one is more important than me. Like I am finally understanding that. Okay, I'm not completely there yet, okay? But I'm finally understanding that. And I know for some of you, you're like, that sounds selfish, okay? But you can think whatever you want. This is America. You have freedom of choice. But I'll tell you the reason why I finally have realized that is because I have to be true to what I want. I have to be true to who I am. because otherwise I'm living like almost like a lie, okay? So I'm gonna invite you to really think about what is it that you really, really want? What is it that really, really matters to you? What is it that you really want to go after? And start to find a group of people. Hi, Michelle. Start to find a group of people that are there so that you can elevate your game, so you can elevate your vibration, so that you can elevate what you'll have in life. Do not be the biggest fish in the pond. And if you want more, you cannot be surrounding yourself with people that, this weekend, this lady said, Elena Cardone, which is Grant Cardone's wife, was saying, and I was like, oh my God, this is so true. She said, none of my well-to-do, rich, none of my well-to-do, successful friends have ever told me, you need to slow down. You need to slow down. Never. If anything, they're like, okay, good job, you could do more. Good job, you can have more. Good job, you can do more. Like, it is the never, ever, 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 the people that are successful, will they ever tell you slow down? You know why? Because they know what it takes to get there. They know what it took for them to get to have what they have. So they'll never tell you to slow down. If anything, they'll be like, let's go. Come on, you can do more. Come on. So you got to surround yourself with people like that. It is the people that settle, okay, and that's okay. They have every right to choose their life. The people that settle, the people that don't want more, the people that that are comfortable with how they live, they're the ones that are going to say, you work too much. You need to slow down, okay? You're a little too obsessed. You need to just slow down. Nobody who's ever accomplished, I'm going to leave you with this. Nobody who's ever accomplished anything big in life, whatever it is, whether it's their body, a personal physical trainer will never say, somebody who's done like a bikini competition or body sculpting, will they ever say, you're eating too clean, you're working out too hard. They'll never say that because they know what it's going to take to get on that stage and compete. Nobody who's ever created millions of dollars will ever say, you're working too much, because they know that that's what it takes to make the money. Nobody who's ever tapped success, no Beyonce, who's got I don't know how many Grammys, right, will ever say you're writing too much, you're preparing too much. She'll never say that. If you've watched her documentary on Homecoming, right, she completely transformed her body and worked her butt off for 8 months for Coachella. You'll never hear her say you're preparing too much. Okay, she'll never say that. Why? Because she knows what it takes to get to have what she has. So I'm going to invite you, next time somebody says you're too much of whatever, look to see who's saying it. I promise you, it's not somebody who's accomplished a big game in life. They'll never tell you that. So you guys, put yourselves around people. Put yourself in an environment and put yourself with people that will take you to where you want to go. Do not settle for less. Life is so short, you guys. Life is so precious that you never, ever, ever. This morning I was hearing a song that said, I'm not afraid of dying. I'm afraid of never trying. I was like, oh my God, right? I'm not afraid to die. I am afraid to not even try. So with that said, you guys, have a blessed Monday. Please remember that. Be around people. And if you have a coach that can do that for you, reach out to them and say, pull me. This is what I want. This is what I want to accomplish. This is what I'm willing to do. You also have to put in the work, okay? This is what I'm willing to do to get it. Please pull me. Don't let me quit, okay? So have a blessed week. It is the 3rd week of May. Let's go for it, you guys. Don't settle for less and give it all you got. God bless.